non-melon person would say, you know, after they made a bad mistake, you know, they made the wrong choice, was, you know, I just needed to get to the bag, you know, I live with my mom, I had to do this, I had to, like, it's not like they really wanted to do the negative, violent shit. It's like, that was the only choice, or they felt like, dang, I have to do this because I have no other option. Then boom, now let's talk about the community we live in. The community we live in, it's not much help. It's not like you would go next door to your neighbor and say, hey, could you help me get a job? Hey, could you help me make a resume? Hey, could you help me pay for college? This is just all examples here. Like, yeah, the community is, not gonna lie, like, every man be for themselves in a black community nowadays. Like, it's either that or people just focus more on minding their business because they don't want to put their life in jeopardy or their family life in jeopardy. So it's, I'm gonna turn the other cheek. I'm gonna act like I ain't see that. Nah. It's definitely a lot of violence in our community. I know somebody commented on my video saying that they just saw a little girl get shot in Chicago. And then he commented on the video like, yeah, what about that? The community is filled with violence. That's all we see every day. And depending on what type of being you are, you can either let that fuel you into you becoming negative, or you'll hear it, but you won't let that play out in your mind. Because you know if you let that sit in your mind, it's not really doing nothing for you. It's just making you think about how this matrix is really fucked up. And you don't need to be continuously thinking of that 24/7 of the negativity, honestly. But yeah, so moral of that, you know, and the low income communities, poor communities, whatever they call it, whatever, non-melon communities, it's basically all we see is violence. We don't really see any positivity coming from out of our community, you know. Like, you could go to Manhattan, go to Wall Street, and let's say, for instance, you know, everyone could be talking about Jake, how Jake just got his new company, Jake, But if you go to a low-income community, no one's not talking about Gerard, you know? They're not talking about how Gerard finished high school, Gerard finished college too, and now he's a lawyer. Like, no. They ain't talking about nothing positive, but they will talk about how little Tisha got shot yesterday, but nobody ain't see nothing. And then don't let crime happen in a low-income community or a non-melon community and people saw it and then cops come over, you know, to investigate. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing to help you find your kid. They heard the gunshots, but they ain't hear it when the cops come. They ain't helping you. They minding their business, but they'll call their home like, yo, Ronnie and them, you was shooting up the building. They shot this little girl. But won't help justice get served when it's really coming down to it. But that's just how it be, you feel me? Like, people don't want to be putting their own lives in jeopardy, you know, for another next person. I mean, I wouldn't mind too, but everyone is not the same. Let's talk about the school systems and our black communities. No disrespect to all my non-melon teachers, substitutes, principals, guidance counselors, etc. No offense to none of y'all if y'all may be watching this, but the school systems in poor communities and black communities suck. They suck. They suck. You know why they suck? Because one, you got teachers telling younger students, or students in general, if they have a dream of becoming an astronaut, whatever they want to be, you got teachers telling them, oh no, you can't be that. Oh no, you can't be that. You don't even know how to spell. You can't do that. What kind of teacher are you? Who the fuck are you to tell someone they can't be what they want to be? That's why you became a teacher, what? Secondly, it's not like none of the non-melon teachers in schools are trying to really tell their Nuramelon students the truth about their history and what they truly are, and that they are destined for greatness. Everything that they have is within them. I'm not saying make a whole lesson about it, you feel me? Because you probably may get fired. But don't be teaching history class saying shit like we monkeys, we apes, yeah, we human, yeah, we ain't do nothing, we ain't create nothing, we were just slaves. I have no respect for any teacher that really know the true history about people but sit in a classroom and then tell students false history just because they getting paid and taught to tell students. They getting paid and taught basically to tell the students what type of curriculum they want the students to know, basically, like the whole school system or whatever, like the board of education. Yeah, I honestly noticed too, because when I was younger, I was actually in this internship. It's called Coral Exploring Leadership, and we went to interviews like the news station, the Department of Education and shit like that. And basically what our goal was to interview systems that's like on top, like the news station, the school system, FDA and stuff like that, to see what was like their main goal to do. What was their main goal, like, all right, with the school system, we will see like what was the main type of curriculum that they would be putting out in schools, basically. So yeah, I'm just trying to show you that to correlate back, so you can see that basically like the lessons and the whole curriculum of stuff being taught in schools is rigged. Literally, like, it's rigged. Like, it's dead rigged. Like, shit is not facts. They put their own information in their textbooks. They create their own fucking regents and shit. They create their own midterms. What's that shit I used to take when I was in high school? SATs, all that. They create all that shit and then make it seem like, oh, if you can't pass a motherfucking test, you ain't smart. Like, what the fuck? But nah, back to this. Back to the topic. Yeah, I remember, even for example though, too, or whatever, I remember when I was in high school, it was my last year of high school, whatever, and I had an argument with my social studies teacher. Argument, like, she was arguing with me. It was like an argument with, I was basically going back and forth with her because I was mad about, like, why the fuck are you teaching me lies? So she was teaching about Christopher Columbus, and she was saying how Christopher Columbus found America. He was the first person, was no other people here, and I'm like, what? That is not true. That is not facts. Christopher Columbus wasn't the first person that found America. Nor was he the first person here. That is not facts. Miss Houston, I was her name. I'm like, Miss Houston, that is not facts. That's a lie. I'm like, you lying. So I stood up, I said my piece or whatever, and my teacher, she was white. She was just sitting there like, she was shaking her hand. And I'm like, why are you telling us lies? I thought this was history. How are you telling us lies about history? He wasn't the first person I found. The studies teacher was so tight that she said my first and last name. I'm not going to say it because y'all don't know me like that. So I'm not going to be saying my whole government. But she said my first and last name. And she said, after she said my first and last name, she said, if you want to pass your regents, I advise you to sit down and listen to this. I know you're right about everything, but if you want to pass the regents, I advise you to sit down, be quiet, and listen to what I have to say. If you want to pass your regents and graduate. So you know what I did? I wanted to graduate, and I did want to pass my regents. So I shut up. I sat down and I shut up. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, what the fuck? How could she do this and feel no remorse? How could this be so? Like, this is totally not right. And I'm not gonna lie, after that day, I just had a feeling that stuff that was being taught to me in schools was not facts. Stuff that was being taught, it didn't resonate. And then when I graduated and went to college, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like I was being taught the same shit, but on a different level. And